Welcome to another episode of On the Capo Stand. I am your host, David, and alongside, as in every week, our good friend John. John, how you doing?
Doing all right, David. How are you?
Fantastic. So, obviously, we're going to be talking about our exit of the League's Cup, but on news that you never ask, but I'm going to tell you anyways, I am sporting, for those that are watching, the new away kit for my beloved club Stevenage in England. Look at this thing. You wear this, increases your animal magnetism 10%. Facts upon facts. So I just want to thank the folks over there in the team shop that always take care of me. I ordered this and, came express international mail. So thank you very much to the boys, the Kings of England, this past weekend, opening our campaign League One after a 9 year absence. Victory 1-0 over Northampton. And we left them in the mud, baby. We left them in the mud. So tomorrow against Watford for the Carabao Cup. See who is the biggest in the county. We'll see. So it's going to be the little guy, David and Goliath. David and Goliath. Also, my team Stevenage eliminated the world famous Sheriff from Moldova, who defeated Real Madrid a few years back in the UEFA Champions. So there you go. The boys, the Kings of the North of the Galilee, do it again. And sending special love to my sister, and for the fifth time, I'm an uncle. This past Saturday, my niece was born. She doesn't have a name yet, so I suggested the name that I think she should have. We'll see how it goes. So in the future, if my niece is watching this, happy birthday! May you live to 120. You're a blessing, Baruch Hashem. So hopefully, your uncle will see you soon and hug you and kiss you. So, with that said, John, impressions about what happened this past week down in Inter Miami.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, everybody on Twitter's went through it. Everybody went through it on Den After Dark. We could go on for 6 hours about the refereeing, but we're gonna leave that at the minimum tonight. Honestly, I was proud of the boys. Thought they played their hearts out. On 3 days rest. Miami had a full week. We took it to them. We were threatening when we had the opportunity. Saw we could have been a little more aggressive, but teams are still trying to figure out what exactly Miami's doing when it comes to scouting and preparing tactically for a match. So we sat back a little bit, didn't press them as hard as we do most other teams. You watching the match, you notice Pereira and
Mhm.
Maguire kind of switch off. We were almost playing a 4-4-2 there on defense when Miami would have the ball in their own half, and Pereira and Maguire would switch off Busquets, not give him any space. We did a good job defensively. I thought one breakdown, very opening minutes of the match when Miami scored, and we were able to counter very quickly after and tie the match up. And then the second half, phantom penalty call, and then the third goal, we were caught out a little bit up the field trying to press to tie the match, and got caught for a third goal, and then we were threatening the rest of the way. I mean, I said I'm proud of the boys. Thought they played well. Thought Pereira did a good job preparing for the match. Araujo, that man's going to have a statue. He's not even a kid anymore. At 22, he's a man. Standing up to Messi the way he did coming off the pitch, the way he handled Messi, the way he handled his defensive responsibilities, got the goal. Should have had a second, in my opinion. It was unfortunately called back by VAR, but he was the man of the match for us by far. He just keeps getting better and better at match after match. Seeing where he started last year to begin the year, he was a yellow card machine to begin the year last year. Went off of that, and now this year he's showing more of his attacking side. And I mean, we're lucky to have him. You know, if we have him past next summer, we'll be lucky because he may go before Torres does, and at a very high dollar for the way he's been playing this season so far.
No, absolutely, brother. I have to tell you that it was a great opportunity for our guys to be showcased to the world. So Cesar Araujo basically did himself huge favors playing the beautiful football that he did. I just gonna give you the opportunity to finish your insight on the game, and I will go and give you my impressions of the game.
All right. Yeah, and I mean, you know, watching videos and stuff on social media. I'm sure some of you are familiar with Za. He works for Barstool, does soccer content with them. Is with man, I can't remember his name because I don't like him. The guy that used to do Liverpool Fan TV. You know who I'm talking about. If you saw him and heard him, you would know who I'm talking about. He did the Liverpool stuff and then started at Barstool. Anyway, Za was watching the match and was, you know, this is a guy that really, really knows soccer, really knows the game, and was praising him. He's like, look at this guy. He gets, you know, fouled, no call, and then comes back and you know, stops Messi that shouldn't have been a foul, and then somehow gets a yellow card and then stands up to him in the tunnel. So he's getting the recognition from all over the place. Za's one of those guys that if he says it is, it probably is, without going too crazy. And you know, I couldn't be more proud of them. They stood up to the Messi, who we got under his skin. And if you get under his skin, you know, most players aren't going to do as well, especially him. And you know, the other night, Saturday, or whatever night it was, Saturday night, caused me to be even less of a Messi fan. Friday night, sorry, whatever night it was, we all know what I'm talking about. Caused me to be even less of a Messi fan than I already was, because he's just cheap and punkish and a spoiled brat at this point.
All right, let's read some comments here before I give you guys my insight on the game.
John Ames, what's the news on Gaston Gonzalez? Is he staying in Orlando?
Last we heard, there were rumors that he was going to be sent out on loan. He's still hurt. Just to give you a little bit of insight on that, he was signed in May of last year. Since I think he has played about 5 games. Doesn't seem good for the kid. You know, we followed through on the signing, even though he hurt his knee his last game with Unión de Santa Fe in Argentina. We paid for the surgery, the rehab. We brought him here. He got hurt in a game. He got hurt in practice. He got hurt in a game. He got in practice again. We're at a point where every dollar has to be producing. And as much as I like the kid, his story, the family, everything, we're here to win football games. And if you can't stay healthy and you can't stay on the pitch, you got to go.
Yep. Vixen, does Arrow have a race cause? Because Facundo Torres has one, I believe. That I don't know. Torres, I don't believe he ever signed. We never heard. It's never been confirmed by the club that he signed the extension that was rumored back in February, early March, whenever that was.
Correct.
But yeah, as far as Araujo having a release clause, I'm not sure.
I don't know, but I can tell you this: we bought him for next to nothing. I believe 2.5 million out of Montevideo Wanderers, which is middle of the pack team in Uruguay, and what a steal! What a steal! Because my understanding is Montevideo had a lot of debt they accumulated during COVID because obviously they couldn't have fans in the stands. So imagine you're a business, you're selling a product for which you cannot charge money for, but yet you have to pay payroll. It makes no sense. So unfortunately, they ran through. They got loans and they got at the end of the day they had to sell players in order to pay the bills, and Cesar Araujo, unfortunately for them, was one of those players, and we took advantage of that. If you're a good person, like most people are, you feel that's abusive, but in business, you got to be ruthless. and otherwise you're never gonna go anywhere. And that's what we did. We took advantage, and right now we may make it big if Cesar Araujo continues these performances, and national team may be in his future. So you heard it here first. We got another comment here, a few more.
The debatable chronicle is Inter Miami now the biggest club in America since Messi, etc. They haven't won anything yet, so no.
No, they have
Um,
no trophies. And I'm gonna be very honest here. I'm gonna take the Orlando City hat for a second. Fact is that Messi is a great player, but when I see fans going to the games at Inter Miami, at home or away, I hear a lot of Messi, Messi, Messi. You never hear Inter Miami. That is very troublesome. That's like looking at a healthy tree that is just completely rotten on the inside. What's going to happen when Messi gets hurt, has a bad game, or has national call up? That means that the team that is going to be left behind is not going to be able to produce. That's troublesome. What's going to happen when Messi leaves? Then that means that the Messi fans are going to live with him. I wouldn't have a problem if these people decided to give the league a try, give the stay for the league, support Inter Miami. They're a rival, but at the same time, I'm a football fan first, and I'm a Floridian second, and then I'm Orlando City supporter third. I want football to be successful in my state, in our state. I want our state to be a cauldron of talent. And if that means having a very healthy rivalry with Miami, so be it. But if this is just an artificial way of propping up football there, where once Messi's gone, there's nothing keeping it up, I think is very counterproductive for our state. And John, if you want to add anything to that.
yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think about my words because I could go on an hour-long rant right now. David hit it right on the head. I would rather, we'll touch on this later with rumors and everything going around right now that just started today with like Neymar and stuff. We all saw probably on social media Orlando is one of the teams linked to him. I would rather Neymar not come to Orlando, go to another team, and us be able to build a solid team through the MLS, lessening their restrictions on the roster. For everybody, not just us, not making an excuse for us, not getting, Apple, you're going to pay a little bit of his salary, Adidas, you're going to pay it. No, I want to have a strong team that's going to be here for years. And getting these exceptions like what Miami got isn't good for the club, isn't good for the game in the country, and isn't good for the league. Because, like David said, what's going to happen when he leaves? All of a sudden, all these fans that were going to all these games, inflating the ticket prices and doing all this, they're gone. And, they were here, great, but if the rest of the league isn't able to build their product while all of this is going on, what's the point in even having a player like Messi here?
Absolutely.
Except for a quick dollar. It's kind of like, the give a man a fish and, when he's hungry and he'll eat, teach a man the fish, he'll eat the rest of his life type of thing. And as long as the MLS has the roster restrictions, salary restrictions, and the TAM money and all of that stuff, that's just confusing. They're never going to have a quality product on the field. Guys are going to, MLS riders are going to sit there. Oh, MLS is going to be a top 6 league in the next 5 years. That's not going to happen until we can build a roster. The fact is a team like Ajax over in Europe, known for producing quality players out of their academy and everything. If their team were in the MLS, they would have 7 or 8 DPs based on what they're getting paid now, not including what's on their bench. Nobody on their bench would qualify to be on the bench for an MLS team because of their salary. They would have to be a GAM or TAM, whichever one it is, player. And that's Ajax, who makes a little bit of noise in the Champions League. They're the top of their league almost every year. So they're the super team in their country. But we got to get better players in the MLS. We got to get better quality of teams in the MLS. And everybody's saying,
Mhm.
"Oh, well, the MLS beat Liga MX. There's very few Liga MX teams left, and all this." Well, play Liga MX in Mexico, we're going to get squashed. That's proven time and time again by the former Champions League, CONCACAF Champions League, that Liga MX rules this continent, and nothing that isn't going to change. MLS isn't going to be a top 6, top 7, top 8 team until they can start to until Don Garber gets his hand out of his pocket and says, "All right, you guys run the team," because theoretically he could sit there with like Duncan McGuire. I don't know, David, if you remember, Duncan's contract is not with Orlando City. It's with
For
the
the league.
MLS.
Yeah.
So he could theoretically, I'm sure paperwork and everything would have to be done. He could theoretically go, "Duncan, you're doing too good at Orlando. You need to go to LA Galaxy," because they own his contract.
Mm-hmm.
And that's wrong in a sport and the game, especially in this beautiful game.
No, I have to agree with you. I years ago I used to get in fights with the pro relegation people because I felt that the single entities what had saved our league from going under. I
Absolutely.
still do,
Yep.
but the more I have spent following two teams that are in leagues where promotion relegation exists, where the risk of your team going under and dying is a very real one, I have come to understand that an independent, impartial league is critical for everybody to feel that they are playing to win and they're being treated fairly. Unfortunately, that's not the case here, and I'm gonna save my the rest of my statement for when I talk about the game. I want to go over these two last comments before I go ahead and and move on. John, if you do us the favor.
Yeah. John Ames is Urso available when the league comes back. He was on the injury report against Miami, but he was questionable with a leg injury. So as long as his leg's healthy, I would assume he is.
Yeah. There's no reason to risk getting him hurt.
Yeah.
He will definitely be ready for the league where he counts because I think with the stack was very high for stack against us very high. Go ahead, John.
John Ames again. Do you guys think Oscar Pereira is in danger of losing his job if he doesn't win the league? I'll let you take that one, David.
Sure. Again, we're not gonna dwell on this very much, but he had a meeting, and according to some rumors, he was told that if he wanted an extension next year, he had to come up with reach some goals. One of them was a deep run in the League's Cup, which I believe fairly was achieved. Also, make playoffs and win a game. So that's still up in the air. And I will completely answer that question when I give my statement about the game. And let's just read this one last so I can go ahead and do that.
That's what happened to Gressel. MLS sent him to Vancouver without him talking to his girlfriend or
Correct.
wife.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one thing that has happened when players get transferred. Sometimes Twitter finds out before they do. And it's I saw an interview with I can't remember his name. He was from Senegalese player that played for Montreal, who said that sometimes that's how it is, and he was thankful that he didn't have a wife and kids because for a lot of people it's like, hey, you gotta move kids, you gotta move furniture, like on a whim. If it happens in the summertime, okay, no, so no big deal. But when it happens at the beginning of the season, or in times where the family's going through something, you got to remember people. Okay, I think Vixen answered. Yeah, badging. Yeah, thank you, Vixen, for that. He said that sometimes it's line changing. Imagine if if you are if you got have a job and then all of a sudden, hey, you're being transferred to the office in Anchorage, Alaska, and they're giving you a week to get up there and go back to work like nothing ever happened. So it's just an intricacy that is completely MLS that doesn't happen anywhere else.
And real quick, David, as we speak, I just went on Twitter to make sure we didn't have any DMs.
Oh yeah, I know. I've been doing.
Just saw it reported.
Yeah.
As we speak, as we were talking, per a source, again, this is unconfirmed, but the MLS will add a fourth DP spot and increase cap space to $7 million for 24-25.
Wow,
so listen. They're giving Messi these 2 years to do what he does, win his fake titles here, and then they're going to increase everything. See, it's like we said, like everybody on Orlando City Twitter said, this is all set up to make Messi look good, and in the end, it's going to make him look bad, and the league will look worse.
Absolutely, and I have to say this, and for our Inter Miami friends that have tuned in. To hear me cry, I'm sorry to disappoint you because I'm going to give you some praise. First of all, I'm an Orlando City fan, and I'm going to support my club regardless of the situation. Even if I know deep in my heart that we don't have a chance, I'm not going to go, yeah, we're going to lose. No, we're going to go, we're going to win, even if I don't even believe that myself. We went down to Miami. I felt the first goal was a cheap goal to concede. Complete ball watching, a breakdown. I don't know what Araujo and Angulo were thinking. They literally let the man walk by them. So I don't think Messi's talent and greatness was a factor here. Anybody, you put Martinez, Campana, Mickey Mouse, Goofy, you put them in that position doing exactly what Messi did, and it's a goal any day of the week. I was extremely angry about that because we failed to play to the occasion. And the second goal, the goal that we scored, a beautiful way to come back. Cesar Araujo, fantastic. He put the laces through, textbook. The penalty, which in my opinion was a very even game, but Miami had already kissed the post, had an attack aggressively, so a second goal for Miami was a thing that was going to happen. The penalty to me was super soft. They refused to go to review it, which adds to the fire. You have to have integrity, and you have to leave a good game management, good refereeing is the one where both teams may disagree with the result, but they accept it. And I would have accepted losing to a better team, and I would have accepted losing to the incompetence of my club. But to concede such a poor penalty, not giving a second yellow to Messi, in my opinion, hurts the Messi brand because Messi doesn't need that. He's a super talented individual. He can win games on his own, as we saw on the game against Dallas. He doesn't need that. And I feel that the Salvadorian referee that they brought in was handpicked for a reason. He's an incompetent dumbass, excuse my language, that in the World Cup made a mockery of our sport. If I was that incompetent at the highest level of my field, I would have been fired. That's the reality. We are rewarding an individual with games that he has no business refereeing in. That said, the penalty swings the balance against one of the clubs, which in my opinion makes it unfair. Now, the goal, the third goal by Miami happened because this is what happens in football. Time and time again, we have a team, seeking to equalize. And what do? You put all meat on the grill, right? You go all on the attack, and you leave yourself exposed in the back. All it takes is losing the ball at the wrong time, counter attack. They got us, I believe, 2-1, and that's exactly what happened. Messi scored a goal simply because Martinez felt compelled since Messi had conceded the penalty to him. That he was going to return the favor. Of course, all these messy pages that are inundating social media nowadays. You open Facebook and it's like Messi is a god and everything. And I have to say this part. They play great football. Miami played great football. We did not play good football. The two goals that we had came from number 6. So that means that our attacking players were non-existent. Facu Torres, Duncan, Cara, Enrique. None of those guys showed up for the game. They did show up for the pictures with Messi. They did show up for to swap jerseys with Messi. So one of the things that the fan gets mad, not only Orlando City fans but fans in general, is this thing that you lose to this team, and the first thing that you do instead of running to the showers in anger, or thanking the fans for watching that miserable performance, is you go fanboying on the pitch. That to me, that's a no-no. I know some of the Argentinian players in the league think highly of Messi, and the national pride and all that. But you could do that away from the cameras, because when you do that, you're just validating the machinery, the this thing. You can turn on your Apple Plus without seeing Messi freaking everywhere. And I finish with this. I think, for the most part, that while Messi is a great player, I never put the name in the bag over the badge. I have never done that. I always said, I have said it here before, that players and managers come and go. The supporter remains. The supporter will be here to the thick and thin. And sadly, Miami, the big stadiums, the full stadiums, the celebrities that they have showing up, they're there to be seen. And it will be interesting to see next year when the newness of Messi playing in the league wears off, if that will continue. Also, as a person of faith who attends services on a regular basis, and while I have lost my temper many times, and I do not show a level of what you would think a religious person, I do have a close relationship with my congregation, and level of spirituality and my beliefs in God and all that. And that fills my life. Okay, that fills my life. I pray. I attend services. I volunteer in the liturgy in my congregation. For those that that know me very well, that's who I am, and I don't need to give a player supernatural powers. Most of these people that I see online, they make Messi a semi-god. He's a great player. He's very talented, but he's not infallible. All men bleed. And that's the reason why he almost lost the game against Dallas. Unfortunately for Dallas, they considered 2 unfortunate penalties. No, not penalties. I'm sorry. Fouls on top of the box. That Messi's incredible talent, finished. If you don't finish your chances, my friend, you're gonna pay for them. And on the penalty shootout, they lost, and Dallas needs to be mad at themselves. They had them on the hook, and they let them get away. So with that said, to finish, we're gonna let our friend Ahmed Salim here in a second. Before I introduce Ahmed, I want to say that it will be interesting to revisit this tournament plus the rest of the season at the end of the year to see if Oscar Pareja is the guy to move forward with. I think all our team, all our management team was up for scrutiny on this game. And certainly, we deserve as fans to evaluate if we need to move forward with them. That's all I'm gonna say. Ahmed, thank you for joining us, my friend. Ahmed was at the training facility with his son, the Orlando City training facility, for those that don't know. And Ahmed, your impressions about the game against Inter Miami?
Man, that game had me questioning everything that I know about soccer. I was listening on the way here, so I'm not going to rehash the majority of what you guys already said, but I was just very frustrated with the way things turned out. Yet granted, we didn't play as well as we could have, and there were some mistakes that we made that, you can't make those mistakes in times like that. That's how little games are decided. But unfortunately, that's not what decided the game. Other factors, other extenuating circumstances decided that game for us. And it really left me questioning everything I know about MLS in the US. Because it was just like, why are we even having this like, why is this happening? I went to a watch party and everybody was in disbelief. Like, I thought I was watching like a sitcom or something, like a show about the game, because it couldn't have been unraveling right like that. Yeah, man, it was just terrible to me,
Great.
at least.
Yeah, to build on what you just said, my friend. Let's look at this comment, John.
Yep. Jared Quackenbush hated the first goal that we gave up, but was proud of how we responded. Even though we lost, we weren't scared and embraced the challenge. But I was disappointed with our attackers not showing up for this match.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So before you came on, Ahmed, I was also saying that our attacking players did not show up. We basically, although Messi's grace and skill was on display, he really didn't have to dig into his bag of tricks.
Correct.
First goal was complete ball watching. I mean, he just walked in there and scored. The penalty, obviously, the penalty to me is the one that I get furious about because it was so cheap. In fact, Inter Miami fans are starting to question why are they playing Martinez, because quite honestly, he just doesn't do anything there of worth. And I'm gonna be the first one, if I may interject, to say that he's gonna be without a club. He's commanding $2 million, around 2.2. With Inter trying to sign some of, get the band together, Barca 2015. I just don't see why they would spend $22 million on a player that his best years are behind him, when they can bring a superstar with name, that knows the system, while playing with Messi and can score goals. So we may see Martinez either out of the league or in another team next year for sure. So anything to add to that, Amen?
No, man. I'm still stuck on the game. Without being stuck on the game, it just rubbed me the wrong way. Everything about it was wrong.
All right. With that
not the outcome. Yeah.
With that said, guys, and John, you can start us with this. I watched the game against Dallas. Okay, obviously we're not a Dallas podcast, but I have to say I have to congratulate Dallas. Dallas played Inter Miami beautifully. There was obviously the black hand, like we say in Spanish, la mano negra, when the first goal of the game is disallowed. My opinion was a perfectly good goal, but I digress. And then they're down and they come back, and at one point they were 3-1, and with 20 minutes left on the clock, and they just let them off the hook. They allowed Inter Miami to tie the game, and then in the penalties, all it takes is just the one guy that skies the ball. I don't know why. Again, on penalties, you pick a side and you place the ball there. You don't have to, you don't have to burn the net. And unfortunately, they all the investors of Apple Plus can breathe easy this morning. So, with that said, impressions of what Dallas did differently that we did not do when we played them, John.
So I actually didn't watch the game. I saw highlights, watched some extended highlights. I was doing a little personal protest because I couldn't get myself to watch a match that I felt like we had just as much right as Miami to be in that game.
Yeah.
So I personally couldn't watch it. Did watch the PKs, but what I saw from the highlights, and if I'm wrong, please correct me, but it seemed like Dallas pressed them a little more aggressively than we did, all throughout the field. And honestly, if Jesus Ferreira, wouldn't have been Jesus Ferreira and been any other starting forward in the league, they probably they should have had 2 or 3 more goals because he decided to piddle around with the ball in front of the net instead of just putting it home.
I agree.
So, Miami got lucky. If the refs or teams, I'll put it this way, if teams keep fouling Miami in those areas right around the D in the 18-yard box, where it's basically inside the mouth of the goal or just outside of it. Somebody put it really good on Twitter today. It's almost like Messi taking a penalty kick at this point until
Absolutely
the league can figure out how to stop him, unless it's against Pedro Galese, because Pedro's played him a number of times already. Kind of seemed to guess where that shot was going to go in the first half, and he made a beautiful save. We forgot to mention that.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, it showed the league, showed everybody in the league that this team's beatable. Like you said, Messi's a man.
All men bleed, baby.
Yep. And so they're beatable. They got to come in a month and a half and play us in our house. And not to rub it in, David. David, unfortunately, can't be there for that match. But we'll see what happens. If he continues to play Messi and Busquets all 90 minutes, that's 2 matches in a row they had to do that on short rest. I don't see them being able to handle the season, the travel, the different climates and everything, especially, they might be able to do it at the end of this season, but go through a full MLS season, I don't see that happening.
No, for sure. Ahmed?
I think they came out much stronger than we did in the beginning. When we came out on our match, we'd been playing a certain way against Santos Laguna. The last few games that we were playing, we came out much more aggressive than we did that day, and I think that's one of the things that Dallas did. Honestly, I think Dallas had that. Miami did not win that game. Dallas lost that game. I think Dallas had it there, and that's like what we say. It happens. But
football is cruel and unpredictable.
That game, and it just fell apart for them. So
no, for sure, man, for sure.
Credit to Dallas, because I don't think I don't think it's fair to them to say that Messi, Miami won. I think they lost it to them.
No, and again, you have to give credit where credit's due. Messi did what he gets paid to do. He's a skillful player on the free kick. I don't think we had a player of his caliber since what was that Italian player that was in Toronto? Giovinco, who that man could put that thing on a dime. And that to me personally, in my opinion, that's a skill you're born with. It's really, really tough.
Yeah.
To do that. In fact, I once asked Luke Bowden, the soccer Jedi, because man, that kid could put that ball on somebody's forehead 200 yards away. How he got good at that, and he said basically put a bunch of trash cans on the box and you practice. Just putting the ball in the try, and you do that for hours and hours and hours. It's up to a player to pick a particular skill and get good at. I think with us, if you look at Araujo, the throw-ins that he does on the final third are incredible. It's very difficult to throw the ball that far. But again, it's something that you pick that you want to get good at. Specialist in football. I think of yesteryear. I think in modern football, they want you to be a master of a jack of all trades. But hey, kudos to Miami. They closed the game. We didn't. We have to accept defeat. We have to be gracious in victory, humble in defeat. I always say that winners win games, losers make excuses. Did I felt that the refereeing was unfair, especially on the goal that was disallowed? Well, while they allowed Joseph Martinez to block the view of the referee. I know people will disagree with me. I stand by what I'm saying. Again, none of those things matter if we finish our chances.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. None of those things matter if we don't sit there like fools, allowing Lionel Messi to just basically waltz into the box. It's that simple. I think it's time for people to remember this man is not a celebrity. He's here to hurt you. Is this playing Lionel Messi? Excuse me. I thought I had to sneeze, and I think I will in a minute. This is like going into an abandoned house with Jason from Friday the 13th, and when he shows up with a machete, you want to take pictures with him. You want him to sign your goalie mask. That's insanity. The guy is there to hurt you, to destroy you. After the game, by all means, go get all the pictures. When the ref blows the whistle, go and play games. And I think, if I can be critical, that our boys were like, oh my God, Lionel Messi, I have your poster in my childhood room. Meanwhile, Lionel is, oh, very nice. Here's a goal. Here's another one. Here's another one. And that's that. And I have to say that the game, it was a good platform, guys, to see who needs to go and who needs to stay. And I'm sorry, we're gonna have to send some people home. And when it comes to OCB, we need to reevaluate. Are these kids gonna go up to the first team and play? Great. If not, sell them to USL. I think we have to be ruthless with the decisions that we make, and I want to win. And if the next 2 years are gonna be like this is what your good friend David Valentin is gonna be doing. I'm gonna go and sit in the dugout and just watch them swing for the fences over and over and over. And when Messi leaves and they're tired, then we come back to it. Because if we're not gonna do anything, we're not gonna go get the players that we need. We're not gonna improve our squad. There's players here that super nice guys, and we all follow them on Instagram, and we all like their pictures and all that crap. But at the end of the day, I want to win. I want to win games. I want to lift trophies, and we have to do that. And again, and I reiterate this with Oscar Pareja. Oscar Pareja, hey, he was hitting on all four cylinders. But when the league comes back, I think in our history, we had moments in the league that we can say this is where this era ends and a new one starts. 2007, when David Beckham saving the league. I'm the first one to say that every single time. MLS would have died if David Beckham did not come and rescue the league. We had that. Then we had the golden era expansion with Orlando and New York. Then we have the era of the beautiful game, in my opinion, when Atlanta came in and brought fast attacking football. And then and now Messi definitely has elevated the league to the stratosphere. And we have to. It's probably going to create an arms race. Obviously, the league is not going to come to Little Orlando and help us sign a great player, but we have to get better. Yep. With that said, friends, let's look and review what we have done in the league real quick. We are obviously returning on the 20th to league play. That's going to be against Chicago, and it's going to be an away game Sunday, August 20th. In my opinion, we have to come back and make Chicago pay for our sins. Right now, we are sitting fifth with 37 points, and at the bottom, this is where the race is going to be. Teams are not making players off the top at the moment of this recording: Montreal, New York Red Bulls, Charlotte, New York City, Toronto, and Miami. Miami has 18 points and Toronto 19. I feel that it's going to be a very tough way for them to climb. But with that said, Chicago is sitting on 8th. I think they're beatable, and we have to close the season. That's all we have left is making playoffs, guys. So far this season, with our 10 wins, 6 losses, and 7 ties, 30 goals scored, 28 against for a goal differential of 6. we were home record of 5-3-4, and an away record of 5-3-3. Basically, we were batting at 500, if I can use a baseball term that New York City fans will be familiar with. What do you guys think of the season so far? I mean, we started with high hopes. We sort of hit the skids a little bit, but it looks like before Leagues Cup, we bounced back. Let's start with John.
Yeah, I mean the season started exceptionally disappointing. You know, you and I were calling for Poppy to be fired, and you know, kind of blow the project up and basically start new with a new manager. Luckily, he turned the tide a little bit. You know, they're heading in the right direction. This team, I feel like, has grown as a unit since the beginning of the season. Every match for the last month, I feel like they kept looking better and better and better and better. You know, so I'm very, very hopeful, very bullish, if you will, on the team going forward. I mean, I really think if, you know, they take what they did in Miami, take that as a learning experience, you know, and how they played in July. Because listen, Orlando traditionally has a summer swoon where July and August we are lucky to win anything, and this team did very well to close the July out before the break. So I mean, going forward, I think that you know, second place is attainable. We're 6 points back of second place, very attainable. But we got to take care of business. We got to start beating playoff teams, beating the teams ahead of us. Labor Day weekend is going to be a huge match for us because I'm going to be there at an away day. No, we play Cincinnati in Cincinnati. They currently hold first by a large margin, and you know, I see us potentially getting second, which means we get 2 or 3 home games in the playoffs, and you know, we get to sit at home and watch the bottom 2 teams, the 8th and 9th place teams, battle that wild card game.
Amen.
Yeah, I have to agree with John. I'm very hopeful about the team. I feel like we've made a lot of progress, even though with some of the setbacks we've had. But I'm concerned about this gap that we have right now because we had this momentum, and I almost feel like it could come back to hurt us if we're not careful. You know, we had this momentum, everything was gelling. You know, outcomes were what they were, but 3 weeks off is 3 weeks off. You know, practice is not the same as active competition. So I really hope we come back from this strong because I think that's going to set the tone for the rest of the season for us. Those first few games, I think, are going to be key to how the rest of the season is going to look.
No, absolutely, and on a tangent that relates to what we've been talking about. Everybody's familiar with the situation with Wrexham, right? The Welsh team in the English Football League. They were in a national league. There's a very cool documentary on Hulu. Loved it. Very familiar with the low leagues. My club spent the last 9 seasons in League Two, and that's what Wrexham was trying to achieve, getting that league. This past weekend, they made their return after 16 years in the out of the EFL, and they lost. They brought in all the star power. They had their ownership there. The Hollywood ownership, and none of that mattered. And they lost to probably the most hated team in the UK, MK Dons. And just so you know, MK Dons gets a reputation because originally they were Wimbledon AFC. The ownership bought the team and moved it to Milton Keynes, and which is just a suburb or exurb of London. And does that sound familiar? Because in MLS we have experienced that before. And they moved it there, and they abbreviated the name of the city to MK, and they named the team Dons, which was the nickname of Wimbledon. Obviously, Wimbledon is back. They are playing in in the League Two now. They got relegated last year from League One, but the fans created a new club and a Phoenix club, and that's where it's at. So for that reason alone, people hate them, despise them like crazy. So again, and you lose at home on top of that. So that just tells you guys that you can have all the hype, you can have the big names, the big ownership. I mean, Miami has proven that they came with, in the David Beckham's Inter Miami and Posh Spice and all that, and they got their teeth kicked in for a while. That's why when the trolls come and attack us, I all I have to do is post pictures of us lifting trophies, something they can do at least at the moment. And this is the thing with Inter. And I know I'm digressing because I thought I wanted to talk about it, but I digressing for a second. This is the thing with Inter. All those players that had Inter Miami last, they're still there. They're still there. In Orlando, okay? In Orlando, while we made some changes that were favorable, and this is how I'll bring it back to Orlando City, we still have players that have not lived up to the expectation. And I don't want to name names because I don't want to single people out because obviously it's unfair for me to call them out. But in a situation with Gaston Gonzalez is one where, until it's okay to be nice, it's okay to be supportive, but until at what point we cut line and we let him loose because the guy's not healthy and he's costing us money. We have that situation. Erchan Cara, nice fella, can't score goals. Can't score goals. A DP on the bench that a kid making $77,000 sat down. That's amazing. But at the same time, it's not money well spent. So if I can quote our good friend Clean from the Orlando Lions, then a DP, the three aspects that define the DP is he has to be a starter, he has to be a goal scorer, has to be a game changer. Is Messi that? Absolutely. Is Erchan Cara that? Not by a country mile. So what we have to do is we have to identify players that are not winning us games. That's what I'm trying to say. They're not winning us games. Facundo Torres deserves criticism as well. We went down to Miami. This is what you get paid for, brother. And you were missing in action. And, it pains me to say that. Obviously, everybody knows, I have talked to his dad and all that. But, I cannot be transparent and honest with you if I don't send criticism to people that I believe they deserve it. And at the same time, defensively, we leak goals. We concede goals that are so outrageous, so grievous that we need to put bows on the ball, sign it, and say happy, Merry Christmas or Happy Birthday, something, because they're gifted. We cannot do that. And I quote James O'Connor when he said, what these clubs needs is to play teams as generous as we are with other clubs. I still believe that. We haven't figured out the formula of selling the goal at a high price. Our goals are cheap. The goals that we concede are cheap, and the goals that we put on the opponent are worldies, are golazos, are like goal of the week. Why is it that it takes all this talent, all this incredible force to score, but we allow goals that belong on a YMCA pitch? So it's obscene. I'm sorry. And if the club, and I finish with this. If and this criticism goes to Mark Wolf. Mark, we saw you. You took the pictures with Messi, and it was all smiles. Messi took a picture with you, shook your hand, smiled at you, and destroy your team. If we don't learn from that, then you look like a fool. Because we went down there and we were, maybe Mark felt, oh my God, I'm sitting here next to celebrities, next to Derek Jeter and the Latin rapping sensation Anuel, or freaking J Lo's ex-husband Mark Anthony. You know what I mean? If you went for that, bro, hey, by all means, I wouldn't mind that. But the fact of the matter, see Serena Williams and Kim Kardashian, that's all great. That's all great. Mark, enjoy it. It's I guarantee the after party was off the hook. The fact of the matter is, the blue collar fan that pays for the seats at Exploria Stadium wants to win games. Wants to win games. The games that matter. Our in-state rival, and we can continue with this. You have to play to win the game, and that means that you look at yourself in the mirror, Mark, and you pull out your phone and you go onto your banking app. Okay, we all have a banking app on the phone. You look at the $5 billion you got in the bank, and maybe go and get us some players that want to win. Get rid of Urchin Kara I can't believe that we're still depending on a guy that is a part-time CPA. Great guy, has given us a lot. God bless him. But the fact of the matter is, when Inter Miami is bringing Barca 2015 to play us, we can't go with some kids that you picked up at the Home Depot, because they look like good soccer players. We can do that. So, guys, if you have anything to add to that, because if I continue, we'll be here till, I don't know, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I mean, one guy you left out that I've been critical of for a large part of the season is Martin Ojeda. You said you didn't want to call names. Right now we have 2 DPs that are bench warmers, keeping a place warm for somebody else. And Ojeda's a guy that the team chased for 2 years, trying to get him to sign. We almost signed him last 2 years ago.
John, I'm gonna refill my rum and coke. So continue. I'm sorry. I just want to let everybody know that I am so angry. I have to medicate myself. I'll be right back.
But it's a guy we chased for 2 seasons. We finally got him. He was supposed to be this goal scorer, this guy that was going to change our team, make us more attacking, and he's been sitting the bench for the majority of the year. And he's a DP, and right now we're wasting our 2 DP spots on guys warming the bench. And, as good as our scouting department has been, it also has not been on Kara and Ojeda. And, I'm going to bring up the center backs. I love Janssen. I love Antonio Carlos. We have 0 speed at center back. One of those 2 guys has to have speed. Neither of them do. They're too far along in their careers to magically find speed. Meji just had a ghost walk behind you. Sorry, that just completely threw me off. So yeah, we have to get speed at center back. We have to get speed outside with our fullbacks, with the 2 outside defenders, and we have speed in Angulo, but really, who else on our teams has shown a incredible amount of speed or a good amount of speed this year? Nobody. Ahmed, I'll let you go ahead. I'm sure you got something to add to it.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Honestly, getting all this stuff is great, but it's all about how we use it. We had all these players not to beat a dead horse, but it's like at the beginning of the season, we had these signings, and it was like the beginning of the season, and everybody's like, okay, this is the run. We have all these new players, and fell flat, right? So getting all these great players would be fabulous, and making all these changes you guys are talking about, but it's only going to be worth it if we utilize them to their advantage. And that's my fear, right? My fear is we're going to do what you guys are saying, and we're still going to be in this situation because it's an approach, it's a style, right? So that's my thought on that.
And I gotta add this, guys, because I've known Ahmed and John for several years already. On social media, we have followed each other for years. I think a good decade at this point. And we have, we have been there through the bad seasons. A normal person would have said, "Hey, maybe I need to invest this money on something more productive." But like fools, like flies to a light bulb, we continue coming to Exploria. We weathered the storm. We lifted a trophy last year. Thank God. It was fantastic. But the point is that that's in the past, and we gotta get better. How do we do that? Well, we play to win. And there's been this rumor about a Brazilian coach. If one of you guys can do me the favor, remind me the name. While you guys do that, I have to say that while a lot of people say, "Well, it's fake, it's not true," point is that rumors always have a pinch of truth to them, right? And I'm of the belief that while Oscar Pareja is doing fantastic, I think he, like I said, he weathered the storm. He shunned the criticism. He shut me up, made me swallow my words. Um, what happens, guys? This is a question for you guys. What happens if we make playoffs again and we get thrown out of the playoffs in the first round? Right at this point, this that will be the third time out of the four times making playoffs that happens. Technically, our win via penalties against New York City does not count as a win; it counts as a tie. So we have not won a game technically in the playoffs. And do we say, okay, we were successful, we made playoffs again, tough, too bad, so sad, and roll the dice with Pareja again, or do we say, thank you, Oscar, you got us back here once again? We fourth year in a row we make playoffs, making up for the first five that we missed. Thank you for all you done for the culture of the club. Blah 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 blah. But it's time to move on and try with somebody else, perhaps somebody of a higher stature. Because this is one thing, guys, and I give you the microphone. While everybody is saying, "Oh, look at Messi, look at how great he is," yes, but he's one guy. Okay, he's one guy. If you look at the team is 90% all Miami, the all Inter Miami that lost tons of games, etc., etc. I think what is missing in the equation is the fact that Tata Martino is the manager. Tata Martino has a style that he implements. And I'm sorry, when you have the greatness of a player like Oscar Pare, no, sorry, like Lionel Messi, you are going to win games. And I think that that's the part that's missing in the equation. They elevated not only their managerial team, they on the pitch players. And again, next year we're gonna see players like Campana moving on, Martinez moving on, because they're gonna have to make room for better players. And I'm telling you right now, it is a shame to see a player like Campana of his talent eating the bench. In our perspective, our players on the bench, they're there because they're not good. Campana is a great player that has been benched because, hey, we got the world's number 10. You know what I'm saying? So with that said, guys, do you attribute Miami's fortunes on the pitch performance, or do you also say, hey, the manager has something to do for the performance, and therefore we should look at all the aspects of our club if we once again finish the same way we did the last 3 years?
Got it, man. So the coach that you were looking for is Tite, former Brazilian national coach. On that real quick, it's probably just rumors created by his agent to for him to get some sort of
Mhm.
interest. But at the same time, I feel like it does have traction because the fact of the matter is, making it out of the group stage of League's Cup and then getting knocked out in the round of 32 isn't a deep run in the League's Cup. Round of 16, maybe quarterfinals. Okay, that's a deep-ish run. But round of 32, in my opinion, when 2 of the 3 teams from the group play make it out anyway, isn't a deep run. So, the Tite rumors, I feel like, may have a little bit of traction. There's been no word about a proposed extension for Poppy whatsoever. And again, this isn't an indictment on what Perea has done for the club. We said it earlier this season. If he ends up going at the end of the season, there should be a statue erected before
Absolutely, all the respect.
Match of next season, and he's done wonders for us. But I feel like part of it's yes. It has to do with what's going on with the tactics of the coach. I just also feel like it has to do with the group of players that we have, where a minority of them have that killer instinct to go and grab the game by the horns and say, no matter what, we're winning this game. And right now we only have a couple players that do that. I feel like the majority of our players are more laissez-faire, just out there to collect a paycheck. And, if we win, we win. If we don't win, oh, well, hopefully somebody in Europe likes me and I'll go play in Portugal next year in their 3rd division. And hey, I'll be playing in Europe. But, you need, aggressive players. You need, if you will, the term dogs. You need those type of guys on your team. And we still don't have that. Torres has his moments where he decides he's going to attack the game. A player of his ability should be able to attack the game like that, or should be attacking the game like that from the start of the whistle. He just seems not to. He'd rather get the ball. Oh, there's a challenge. Let me back pass it and then get back out wide into my position. So I feel like it's a combination of those two. Like I said, though, this team has made great strides since the beginning of the season. And we had a great July going into the League's Cup. We had a kind of a letdown against Houston and then a great win against Santos. And, like Ahmed said earlier, I hope this break doesn't kind of ruin that momentum.
Absolutely.
I'm hoping it doesn't. I hope we come out like we did when we had a break, again, much longer than this, but a break back in 2020 because of COVID, and the guys came out looking like a team we've never seen before and we haven't seen since.
All right, got this comment here before Ahmed gives us his insight.
Yeah, William Aguilar, I would give Perea another chance as long as he gets reinforcements. If the HO does not think about getting new players, the new coach we should have. William, listen, we got reinforcements last year and this year. These were his players. This is his 4th season coaching the team.
Mm-hmm.
He has his reinforcements. These are his reinforcements that are on the team now. The only way I see Perea coming back is if we make it out of the group stage and maybe even win that first match in the conference semifinals. If we don't do that, I don't think there's any way he is coming back.
Ahmed?
I thought about that, David, when what you were saying about Miami, when you were talking about the Dallas game. If you look back at the things they've done, it's like if you're a technical person, when you go to troubleshoot an issue, you look at all the different things, right? And you change one thing at a time, right? So you're not going to rip all the wires out and then just change everything because you don't know what fixed it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's the situation we have right now in Miami. Because of the position they were in, they did it all. They signed new people, they got a new coach, so everything is great. But you really don't. I mean, everybody's saying why? It's because of Messi, but you're taking credit away from everything else they've done, right? All the other players they brought in and the coach they brought in. I would argue, had they just brought in their new coach without any of the other changes, you would have seen a different Miami team. You would have seen a Miami team that was playing better than they were, I should say. Maybe not to the same level they are now,
Mm-hmm.
but you would have definitely seen a better team. And I think you lose that value because it's being overshadowed by all the big names they brought in. right?
No. I'm with you, brother. I'm with you. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
No. I'm with you on that. I think we are. To me, the Leagues Cup is a bad indicator of how good Miami can be
Mhm.
because right now, I mean, practically, I saw the stats. There's a good chance that they may continue playing at home the rest of the tournament. That's by design because obviously the league wants to keep Messi as long as possible because they need to recuperate the
Yeah.
millions that they spent bringing him here. And I get that part. I respect it because it's a business, and a business is to make money. But once the leagues comes around, and again we have the challenges of the fact they're gonna be playing Miami. I actually looked at the schedule. They're gonna be playing weekend, midweek, weekend, several times, at least 3 times in the 12 games they have left. Can Messi go Miami, LA, Colorado, Miami, Orlando, New York, Miami, Chicago, Atlanta? I don't know. Maybe he goes out there and he is having a ball playing in the Colorado altitude. I don't know. According to most people online, football bends to his will. I've been told. The rules don't apply when you have his powers. Uh, the one thing I've been missing about Messi that I have not heard yet is he can turn water into wine. He can walk on water, and that he has cheated death. Those are the only things. And I don't mean to be disrespectful for folks, but I'm just being sarcastic. They're giving him powers as if he was a god. And again, the other thing that I don't like, I mean, you guys may comment on this. The other thing that I don't like is the fact that we have people complaining at the fact that they feel that this is going to destroy the quality of the league because he comes in, he plays, and they're like, oh look, of course he's going to win because MLS is crap. I hardly disagree with that. But we, as a league, we're moving forward after this tournament, and we are going to, for example, Orlando. And I don't want to go deep into this because obviously next week we're not going to have anything to talk about. But we have in the rest of the month of August, just to briefly talk about this, we have away game at Chicago. We're gonna be at home against the new boys in the league, St. Louis. We're gonna be midweek Charlotte, the team that, in my opinion, we left them off the hook earlier this year. Then we're gonna go to Cincinnati, a team that is red hot. We tied with them this year. Last year they swept us. Those are facts. Then we're gonna be welcoming Columbus. Then we're gonna go to New York City. Then we're gonna have the Messi Circus come to town. By the way, my tickets are up for sale, $600 a piece. Go buy them, please, somebody. Then we're going to have Saturday against Montreal, that is not having a great season. And then October, we're gonna go out to Nashville, who are in very good form. The New England Revolution, who are in very good form. And then we're gonna close the season at Toronto. And God forbid if we arrive at Toronto needing points, because we've been lucky enough the last few years. We've been at home for decision day, and we have been able to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. So, guys, looking forward. Any concerns about what lays ahead? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games at home. For a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 games.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, if the boys come back from this break and continue to improve as a unit like they have been, Poppy continues to kind of transition into a more attacking game, that they were playing before the Miami match. We do have good attacking talent. However susceptible our defense has been to silly errors this year, we do have the attacking talent that's shown. Even throughout when we were bad, the flashes were there of this being a dangerous team. So, like I said, second place I think is very easily reachable for us. First is kind of a pipe dream just because Cincinnati's so far ahead. We got big matches coming up down the stretch. Most of them are away. Only 5 home matches left. So, this is where the guys will show us what they have, and whether this is a team that's going to make a deep run into the MLS playoffs or going to be sent home in the group stage.
Ahmed?
Yeah, you know what? I mean, we said it before. I mean, my only concern right now is how we come out of this break. If we continue that form that we had, I think we'll be in good shape. It's a big if, though. I guess we have to wait and see, and I'm hoping for the best, really.
No, absolutely. And I would like to remind the friends that ask for the link to be on the show to please go ahead and log on because we're wrapping it up. We're already a minute, an hour 16. So there we go. Okay. Vixen, I will let you in here in a second, my friend. I would like to thank everybody that's with us live. Also, remind everybody that we are on Instagram at On the Capo Stand. On Facebook, we are On the Capo Stand Podcast. We're also on Twitch at On the Capo Stand. We are on X at On the Capo Stand. We're on YouTube at David's Channel 76. Instagram at On the Capo Stand. So I would like to thank everybody. Most of the content right now is being consumed on audio form. We can be found wherever you consume your podcasts. Thank you very much for the folks that watch us later on in the week, and also for the folks that listen to us on audio, and the folks that watch us live. We do appreciate you sticking with us for this 90 minutes that we usually give you. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. So without further ado, let's go ahead and let our friend Vixen here to give us his impressions of the game. Vixen, you're on the Capo Stand. How you doing, my friend?
Hey, Vixen.
Excellent, man. Hi, how you guys doing?
Good.
Awesome, brother. Awesome.
Awesome.
All right, Vixen. So we're showing time, my friend. Go ahead. What your impressions about the game against Miami, and also what are you looking forward as we basically finish this half of the season and we are going to the final lap heading to the playoffs?
I think we played really good against Inter Miami. We left our hearts out on the field. But it's just that let's wait till September 24th, right there. That's what I'm waiting for right there. And but what I saw was Pereira lost the ball a lot, like when he was on the field, and like I didn't like that much because when he's more higher up you could tell that he was more up the field, and like he lost the ball a lot more up there. Yeah. And like that wasn't good for us because we couldn't progress in any way, shape, or form. Duncan McGuire, like he had like one really bad shot and like early in the first half, and then like later on he had an opportunity to shoot with his left foot, and he failed. Like no, he didn't fail. He didn't do it. He didn't do it. He tried to make it comfortable for him to make it shoot with his right foot, and then like and he didn't do that. But a couple weeks earlier, in the Atlanta and Mercedes-Benz Stadium in the Atlanta game where I went to, he was like way out there in the field, and he blasted that with his left foot, trying to get a goal past Brad Guzan. And he's like right there, millimeters, like centimeters from the goalkeeper in Miami and Fort Lauderdale. And like he just doesn't do it. Like I think like he lost his confidence when he saw like what that shot that he blasted. Like I think he lost his confidence, and and like that's why he didn't do that left-footed shot, which could have spurred into our first goal. But
absolutely. And as a number 10, We're seeing that he's not scoring goals.
Hmm.
He has one for the season. I would like to remind everybody it's August. Okay. So if somebody has his phone number, text him that I said you need to start scoring goals.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
I
Mauricio
was talking
Pereira.
about I was talking
Go
about
ahead.
Duncan McGuire. Duncan McGuire, that him, not Mauricio Pereira. It was Duncan
Oh,
McGuire.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know you were talking about that, and I just confused it. So my
No,
apologies.
it's all right.
But with Mauricio, it's another player that, in my opinion, has underperformed. Love the kid. I own the jersey, signed jersey that he wore when we defeated Inter Miami for the first time in Orlando. So I really respect our captain, but you know, underperforming there. But no. Yeah, listen, you're absolutely right. I think. Our expectations after the great performances, defeating Atlanta in Atlanta, I think, getting that monkey off our back. I know we did that during COVID, but there was nobody there to witness it, right?
Yeah.
So I think that was definitely a high. And the thing to me, guys, that is very disappointing is we went into the Leagues Cup with such high hopes after such great performances, and then all of a sudden, perhaps I guess because we lost against Inter Miami, in-state rival, sort of takes the air off the tires for us. But not for nothing, we did fantastic against Houston, even though we had a penalty that wasn't a penalty. And then we defeated Santos Laguna, which is a great Mexican side, and we finished them in Hollywood. Couldn't have scripted that better. So so Vixen, anyways, any expectations going on into the second half of the season?
Yeah, one thing that we kind of brought it upon it a little bit earlier, but the transfer market, it's over, it closed, and who did we sign?
Urso.
Oops, I get that, but compared to what other teams got and what we got, it's just it's like, come on, Mark Wilf, this is did you forget?
Listen, my guy, I don't know if it's the rum talking because I'm feeling saucy right now, but the fact of the matter is that we couldn't sign anybody because we were overcommitted. I mean, we are tied up to the Austrian sensation of Ercan Kara, and we didn't have any room. That's I'm sorry, and I know, Vixen, where you're going. It's like common sense would have been like, hey, it's the time to say goodbye to the underperformers, bring other people, but we couldn't do it. We brought in a player that used to play here that's hurt, and that's going to have to compete for minutes in order to get his starting role because, in my opinion, he's not taking Cartagena, and he's not sitting Cartagena. He's not sitting Araujo.
No. What happened to Brian Reynolds? What happened to that rumor? What happened to the rumor with the Colombian? What happened to the rumor?
Got no money.
They don't have space for him. I mean, every international spot was taken. Every DP spot was taken.
Gaston Gonzalez, Mr. Glass. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I should have been drinking before doing the shows, but
the
here we are.
Rose of Orlando City, the Derrick Rose of Orlando City, right there.
So,
Reynolds was the only hope that we had because he wasn't taking an international spot, but he ended up signing for the team that he was previously loaned out to. So,
for sure.
I did a research. Doesn't Facundo Torres have a $30 million release clause?
$20 million. That's the rumor. $20 million.
Yeah.
I don't see anybody buying that $20 million. I'm sorry. I gotta say this with all the honesty and humbleness that characterizes me. Right? You guys know that I'm all humble. Anyways, the fact of the matter is Facundo Torres should have looked at himself in the morning, in the mirror, in the bathroom, and say, "You tonight are gonna be seen by half the planet. Go and have the game of your life." And he didn't.
No.
He did not.
Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't.
Facundo Torres doesn't have a right foot
At all.
at all.
He had
We can't. Peñarol people can come here and tell us that the guy was Italy ready, that he should be long in Europe. I'm sorry, I don't see it. Great, talented player. If he chooses to move his left, but in our league, they figure out, hey, you force the guy to his right, it's over. So
Yeah, no.
that's it. Yeah, again, like I'm being honest. You guys want honesty, and you know what they say when people drink, their true self comes out. So I have to say that the fact of the matter, I mean, don't laugh. I have to say the fact of the matter is that this game was a showcase, was a window to the world, and you would have thought the Orlando City Lions would have gone out there with a two-footed Messi, would have pushed him into the first row, like if it was like roller derby maniac, and they didn't, guys. They didn't. We just went out there, and at the end of the day, from our ownership to the kid manager, everybody wanted pictures with Messi. In fact, who was the biggest winner of the night was Rafael Santos, who walked away with a game-worn Messi jersey that most likely he's gonna get signed on the 24th and probably sell on eBay for $500,000.
He probably got it signed in the locker room in the tunnel.
Of course, well, it was sweaty, but Rafael Santos was the winner of the night, not Messi. Rafael Santos. So Rafa, congratulations. I'm looking forward to see your eBay win, because certainly it wasn't a win on the pitch. So with that, Vixen, any final words before we say goodbye to you? And Will, we'll send you the link, brother. If you're not here in the next 2 minutes, I'm sorry, we're gonna have to leave you behind. So Vixen, anything else to add before we say goodbye?
Something that earlier that you guys said, that I brought up, that like how the league owns Duncan McGuire. Like, I hope Orlando City finds a way to keep the individual, and I hope Duncan McGuire does get called up for next month's friendlies.
There's a good chance, my friend. There's a good chance, I hate to admit it, but Duncan McGuire. Okay, Will. Here, Vixen, don't go anywhere. We're gonna add Will. We're gonna finish with the bang. Five people. Look at that. Will, welcome. You're on the Capital Stand. Listen, you came in last, so you're gonna have the last words, brother. Your opinions about the game against Miami. Well, how are we looking forward into the league when we return? All that good stuff.
Okay. Well, I had a lot of stuff to say. But I'm gonna keep it to a minimum. Sorry, my cat.
No, don't worry about it. He feels the same way I'm feeling right now. Very, very good.
Well, all I gotta say, my takeaway from the game, just to summarize, I think we have a closer team. I think this game against Miami, even though we lost, it probably united the team a bit more. I think they show that we have a team to compete. Maybe we have a few flaws here and there. Like any other team, we can't be perfect. But the main takeaway, it's that we have a team to compete for the rest of the tournament. We're fifth place, so we can still make it up there. And also, I think with this game, I connected more with Oscar Pareja a bit more. Like I understand his positions and like how he thinks of the game. The only thing I would have done different, I would have started Carr, just because of the physicality of the game. Maguire wasn't there, for the whole time that he was playing. He only had like 2 chances, and he could have put them away, but he decided to just pass it to Angulo.
He lost his confidence. He lost his confidence after he blasted that first shot, and he had an opportunity with his left foot. He just didn't take it. But over there in Atlanta Stadium, like he was way off in the field and blasted that with his left foot without a problem on Brad Guzan, but he wouldn't do it over there in Fort Lauderdale with thousands of Messi fans.
They were intimidated by the occasion, I think. Yeah. So, well, with that said, Will, anything that your expectations when we return to the league? We're going to be playing away at Chicago, a very winnable game, and then we're going to be returning at home after a long absence to play the new boys in the league, St. Louis. Your expectations of that?
Okay, I expect the win against Chicago again. Same scoreboard as the game at home.
Yeah.
And St. Louis. I don't want to be negative, but I don't think we're winning that game. To be honest.
Interesting. Guys, Ahmed and John, do you agree or disagree with that one?
You can go, Ahmed.
I agree. I'll go with it.
Ooh, wow.
I disagree about winning against Chicago. I mean, I saw that game playing when they played against America. I saw
Yeah.
that game, and they had some serious they had some serious motivation. Like when they were down, like I've never seen
Mhm.
Chicago play so well. And their coach, like he pulled off some tricks out of his bag to make something work, but they eventually lost. And there's a player from Chicago that I thought was decent when he came here to Orlando, but he played really bad in that game against America. He might go to Boca Juniors. His name is Gaston Jimenez. And
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
And if he's not there, then I think it's a bit easier for us to win that game. But I just find it kind of difficult to play in Chicago against that Chicago team because I thought they played really well against America.
No, very good. John, any comments on that?
Yeah, the Chicago game, in my opinion, is going to be harder than the St. Louis match. They've struggled on the road, especially playing teams in the East this season. I think the Chicago match will be harder because it's away from home. Chicago has been on very good form recently, Chicago needs it a little bit more, and St. Louis needs it as well when you're looking at the playoff picture.
No, absolutely, and I agree with that. Thank you guys for joining us tonight.
We
For
should
the
do
folks
this
that
more
were
often.
watching, was that?
We should do this more often, having all of us.
No, we should, absolutely, we should. It's just that it's complete mayhem, and the shows will be like 2 hours long. But no, we again, Will and Vixen, we always appreciate your input. I really like having you guys on. So with that said, thank you very much for all the folks that watched us live. We also would like to thank everybody that's going to watch the show later on. You guys are the best. Last episode was our most watched episode as on the Capo stand. And on the audio, you guys again beat the numbers on YouTube. So we're starting to see that there's a lot of interest on the audio. So thank you very much for that. Again, we can be found on Twitch, on X, on Instagram, on Facebook, as on the Capo Stand, on YouTube at Davis Channel 76. Like and subscribe. You help us out doing that, and also you can be on the show. This week we sort of disabled in the feature, and we didn't want to ask because we were afraid of getting a bunch of Miami trolls. And quite honestly, I'm at a point in my life where I've been hitting the source, and if you thought that the other podcast ended bad, this one would too. So I want to thank John and Aman and Vixen and William, who are always at the ready with their comments. To Vixen and William, hopefully next week you guys can come earlier so we can have you longer. If you come at the end, then this is what we get. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm sorry, after 90 minutes. People are ready to go to bed. So thank you very much, guys. Appreciate the help and tuning in. I want to remind everybody, as we take this little break, go support LCV, go support the Pride. Let's do that. And there's a lot of football in Orlando. Let's go and support the boys and the girls. And we leave you, as we always do, with the following, reminding you that football is for those who don't mind having their mouth smashed and their hearts broken. Football is not played on grass, but I'm sorry, too much drinking. Football is not played on paper but on grass. And we want to thank you very much for being with us, and hopefully you'll be with us again next week at 9 p.m. As always, reminding you, may God bless you. And from John and Ahmed and Vixen and William and yours truly, David, may God bless you. And as always, vamos, Orlando.
This guy.